Everybody, welcome back to the show. We have a great one for you. This week we have the amazing Poops Like a Champion cereal that Ellen found.
We found it from Frank.
Oh, right. Yes, we did find from Frank. My bad. Sorry, Frank. I want to give you credit for that. Frank turned us on to Poops Like a Champion. We have Patsy Gannon on the show. She works for them. She was delightful. She was an amazing guest and gave us a lot of info about the cereal.
Yeah, Frank was one of our previous guests, so listen to that episode. He's a life coach, and he showed us this box of cereal, and we were like, what is that all about? So, of course, I emailed them and was like, you need to be on the show.
Yeah.
So it's a very high fiber, no gluten, very low sugar cereal that I actually tried it, sprinkled on some froyo, and it was delicious.
Yeah, I tried it with some yogurt. It's tasty. I didn't do it as a whole cereal. I don't really eat cereal that much, but as like a garnish on top of some some fruit and yogurt, delish.
Yeah, like a granola.
It adds like a nice extra texture.
Very delicious, but you have to drink tons of water with it because it's high fiber.
Yeah.
So it will clear you out.
Yeah, don't get backed up. Just use the water. It helps with the cleansing, if you will. So remember, water. She was so gracious enough to give us a little promo code for you guys. So if you order now, you get 20% off your entire order with promo code HeyPoopy.
Offer good until the end of February, one per customer. So you have the entire month of February to get your fiber on.
Yeah. Test it out. Let us know, actually. And you can email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com and let us know about your experience.
Or call us on our hotline, 203-998-5579. Tell us, did Poops Like a Champion help you to poop like a champion?
Or did you poop like a loser? We don't know. But we want to know. So hit us up.
Don't poop like a loser, people. Get that promo code, HeyPoopy, for 20% off.
Yeah, remember, one per customer. And you got all of February. So
yeah, but you could do like the package deal, which I bought. Is 3 boxes in one. So it's one per customer, but you could get like 3,
Right. You can get a little combo action going on too.
Yeah. So you could gift it to your constipated friends.
Totally. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
We even gave it in the raffle bag, a night of 100 buttholes, which I think actually today is the last day you can rent it. So if you missed it and you still want to see it, you have to just email it to us. But that party a month ago was pretty damn epic.
Yeah, memories. But again, if you want a cereal that's going to help you poop like a champion is really going to do the trick for you. So with that, enjoy the show, and we'll see you guys next week.
Hey, Poopy, how you doing? Hey, Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey, Poopy, how you doing? Hey, Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, the Hey Poopy podcast with Dave and Ellen.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back on this dump day. And we're very excited.
This is the Hey Poopy podcast with
Dave
and Ellen, and this is episode 105, but it'll always be numbered 2 to us. Our favorite number.
Our favorite. Number 2.
And we have a very, very special guest today, Patsy from Poop Like a Champion.
Yes. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Of course. I mean, look, just off the top here, anybody that has a brand that says poop on it, I mean, is like number 1 in my book.
Yes, 100%. Top of our list.
Yeah. So, but thank you again for being on the show.
Oh, happy to be here.
And anybody who says poop, we're like, oh, you're part of the family?
Yeah. You're part of the tribe.
Wow. I see you. I see you. You really are. And we found your product through Frank, who is one of our past guests, who is a life coach. And he, I think, had a box of it on top of his refrigerator and was like, I love this stuff. And we were both like, what?
Yeah,
Stop.
like, go back. What did you just say?
Yeah. What is this cereal? How do we not know of it? But before we're going to go into this amazing cereal and what Patsy does, we always like to check in with our guests first. So Patsy, How have you been pooping recently?
My poops have been pretty decent lately. I'd say I can see evidence of too many treats, too many Christmas treats. It's been a bit of a rich diet and not enough water. But other than that, I can't complain. I mean, I'm surrounded by, product to help me out, so I can't ever get too far off track.
Exactly.
You might get in trouble if you get constipated working at your company.
Right?
Yeah. They'd be like, obviously you don't care about our product enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, you got to get back on track.
Yeah.
So, Ellen, how have your poops been?
I woke up this morning and first thing I went to the bathroom and I pinched off some Bristol ones. They were just some rabbit pellets that came out. And I was like, really? This is how we're going to start my day? And then I got my period. So I was like, well, we know what's going to happen later on. And then after I drank my first cup, my only cup of tea today, I then pinched off like a small number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pooped a third time in one day. We haven't even gotten to lunch yet. And this time I was sitting and it was like.
Ellen's doing like a little, like almost like a a long string-like motion.
And then I was like, oh my God, I just made a perfect 4. I could just feel it. Like it was like
nice.
Slow-mo. I was like, ooh. I did take a Swiss Crisp last night because I've been a little bit constipated for no reason. It's like, I have not been drinking. I have not been eating. I've been drinking lots of water. Like
You've not been eating.
Yeah. Well, I've been eating healthy, but I just think that it's just like maybe holiday stress or whatever.
Stress is a big one.
Oh yeah.
And but this episode comes out in the beginning of February, so sorry everybody, we're talking about the holidays. But it was one of those ghost poops though. So like even though it was like totally coming out, felt long and strong, it went down the hole and only about like 2 inches poked out from the hole. So I'm like, did this poop even happen? Was I there for this?
I don't know. We'll never know.
But 3 poops in one day. I'm hoping for a 4th.
That's a lot. That's a lot for you. That's like, I just don't have the kind of activity Ellen. It's just like there's always ups and downs with Ellen's poops and like wild rides and adventures. Mine's pretty consistent. I think I too have some stress shits going on. I am incredibly busy with work stuff, and I don't know. It's been a really stressful time. Again, we are talking about the holidays. This episode comes out later, but I think a lot of my work, all the holiday push to get everything out before everybody goes on vacation, is just like all falling upon me this week. I took a nice little poop this morning, like a 5-ish, nothing to write home about again. But I actually was on the toilet for a really long time. I just sat there and just caught up on some social media stuff, answered some emails, literally answering emails on the toilet, instead of just going right into my office to do it, and responding to some texts that I just haven't responded to because I've just been a little crazed. So yeah, I did the thing that you're not supposed to do, just sitting on the toilet, but I did that. And so we'll see how the rest of the day goes. But I'm thinking the stress is going to kind of keep me from actually like reaching my full potential, if you will.
Binding.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen? It could be a surprise. It could be utter disappointment. We'll see.
Completely.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, it happens.
So Patsy, now that we've checked in with everybody, tell us a little bit more about yourself and poop like a champion.
All right. Well, I have been working with Poop Like a Champion since it began in humble beginnings in 2016. And I actually have a marketing background, and we conceived of this product at a marketing company where I worked. And our creative director had just always wanted to use Poop Like a Champion, like as a headline or a product name. It's just, it had been in his brain for such a long time. And we had another guy we're working with, Mario, who's one of the owners, and he is a whiz at selling online and on Amazon, and he understood that whole world. So we had this idea, why don't we actually create our own product and put it out there? And I was really excited at first because, from a marketing standpoint, we'd have our own brand to just do all sorts of cool marketing experiments on. And, but I was also interested for my own self because I have thyroid issues that flare up and down. So I've had my own digestive upsets and mostly constipation. And so in doing this research, one of the things we know in marketing is you have to deliver on brand promise or you'll just be a one-off kind of sale. So in doing that research and working with a cereal factory in Nebraska and coming up with this ultimate formula, I actually learned so much about the process. I've since actually become a certified digestive health specialist.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
Through ITN.
Yeah.
So, because I'm sort of the main product knowledge for the company and I help with all the product development now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And was that something that you discovered, like you wanted to get into, like obviously like researching the product and everything, and you're just like, I'm just going to go for it while,
I got really into it, and part of it was around, just the ingredients and how they work in the body. But I've always been a poop enthusiast myself. So when I first heard from you guys, I was like, I definitely have found some more of my people. So
welcome.
It was,
We're coming out of the shadows, people.
There are many of us out there for sure. So the other thing I got really excited about working with this brand is this idea of bringing poop and poo problems out into the open. And, there's so much like weird innuendo that other marketers use to sell kind of high fiber cereals or other products like, oh, are you feeling backed up or bloated? And we really like the whole, like, just come out and say what it is and take the shame and stigma out of it. Cause some people can actually develop some pretty bad health problems if they don't
deal
with their poo problems. Right.
Completely.
So, they always put it off till the last minute. And, so anyways, we're really trying to, part of this when we say join the movement is really getting people like, let's just talk about poop and, in all of its shapes and sizes and issues. So, and we really came to discover that we were on more of a mission. We started off as this kind of funny marketing project, and then we started getting some really amazing testimonials from people whose lives were literally being changed. And, I suspect part of it is because our cereal is wheat free. I think it works a lot differently in the body. It also has a lot of psyllium, which the other cereals don't have. So it's that soluble fiber. But I mean, we're getting testimonials from people saying, they got it, like their brother-in-law gave it to them as a gag gift, but, they actually have a deformed colon and it's been this like shameful secret all their life. And they're finally pooping normally for the first time in their life. And people like canceling their fissure surgery and their hemorrhoids going away. So we realized, wow, you know what? Like this is so much more than just sort of fun and games and marketing, but we're really on this mission now.
That's incredible. I mean, first of all,
go ahead.
I'll say what I love. I mean, when I was like looking at the whole like little video thing you guys put together, a little promo piece. First of all, you have the best marketing, the number one brand for number twos. I love that. Is just like, I thought that was like the best thing ever. So just kudos on that alone.
Thanks. It's been, there's a lot of poo puns out there. The more we work on it, it's obviously a lot of fun to work on.
No, it's great.
Yeah. We did the same with our podcast. We started this off as like, let's just talk to our friends about their shitting in their pants stories. And then it's like completely snowballed into like interviewing doctors and a woman with rectal cancer. And we realized how important your gut health really is. And when we interviewed a couple of the doctors we've interviewed, diet is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Totally. A lot of fiber is the number one most important thing. And it can help you from so much disease.
Completely.
Like 70% of the immune system lives in your gut. So especially during these times, like it's really important to have a well-balanced gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've interviewed so many different products and we realized that a lot of it has to also do making poop normalized. It has to do it either in a fun way, a funny way, a cute way, and some of our products like Pure for Men, we've interviewed them like it's or a sexy way. So
however the message, wherever we got to do to get the message out there is what we're saying.
Yeah.
So
totally. Totally.
Whatever works. I always say. But yeah, I mean, that's fantastic that cereal does all that. And it's like, I like the fact that people think it's like, oh, it's like a goof, but this really works. So it's kind of incredible.
That's the thing. It's a lot of people do think it's a joke product, but it literally has 79% of your daily fiber in.
It's incredible.
Cup.
It's like a Trojan horse for like healthiness,
Totally.
Just like, but
it's like a doctor dressing up like a clown, coming in fancy, but then having the knowledge to fix your problem.
Yes.
It's like Patch Adams for poop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our new tagline. I'm just writing that.
Right. Go for it.
So, and also the fact that I'm gluten-free, so that being wheat-free is also really important because so many cereals out there their main ingredient is wheat. And so what are your ingredients to poop like a champion?
So our first ingredient is non-GMO corn bran, which is like a much higher quality type of fiber for the body. And, for there's some people who aren't even gluten intolerant, but are still wheat intolerant because it causes a lot of inflammation in the gut. And that's why a lot of people say, oh, I tried a high fiber cereal and it made me really bloated. It's actually the wheat sensitivity. So our first ingredient is the corn fiber. And then the second one is psyllium. And that is this magical ingredient. If you guys have ever tried Metamucil, and if you stir it in water and then you don't drink it, have you ever done that? And you wait about 15 minutes.
Solid.
It turns into like a solid jello. So imagine that happens in your gut. So it's got and then we also have sorghum, which is an ancient grain and also really high in fiber, and it's got some iron in there. And then we do have a bit of inulin in the form of chicory root fiber, and that's a prebiotic that also helps get things going in the colon. So
that what makes it sweet.
That gives it a bit of sweetness. And we have a tiny bit of sugar. So we have organic cane sugar in there as well. Or it's at least non-GMO. We tried to keep it really low because there's a lot of keto people and diabetics also need a high fiber diet. So, but without any sugar, it was just, it is already, I'd say, a very neutral tasting cereal. And we actually have a sweetened version in development for launching sometime in the new year with cinnamon and sugar. So for those people who just really can't tolerate, a really neutral tasting cereal, so we got a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt in there too, just for flavor. So
also that's good for kids too, because we've interviewed tons of people. Like me as a child, I had constipation issues. We know other people, children. So like kids like sugary cereals. So if there's like a cinnamon sugar version, Now, we have a lot of parents that we hear from. Kid constipation is so common.
Yeah.
And I'd say especially this year too, because for them, it happens when there's disruptions in their schedule, and kids can be really picky about where they poop. So if it's like not happening, if they're not home at the right time, they'll hold it. And then when you hold it, the digestive system like reabsorbs all the water and it literally gets stuck. So what's great about our cereals, you've got the one kind of insoluble fiber, which is like the corn bran and the sorghum. So when you add water, it's like a dry sponge that expands when you add water. And then the whole thing kind of gets integrated with this Metamucil gel-like substance. So you can literally have like a no wiper kind of poop.
Nice.
Like a big, long no wipe.
That's the gold standard.
That's what we call it.
Definitely.
We call it the no wipe, the no push, no wipe. Like that's
no
your
push,
perfect
no wipe.
chore. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Totally.
Nice.
Totally.
You want to like poop like an animal in the woods. You don't even need toilet paper.
No, you want to poop like a champion.
There you go.
So you're bringing it back there. Bringing it right back. Bam. But fantastic stuff, though. I think it's great.
Yeah, and then we have a gummy as well. And so, but that obviously doesn't have the Metamucil or like the roughage kind of fiber because it's a gummy. So that's made purely with the chicory root fiber. So it's a prebiotic. It works a little differently, but that's another one that's really kid friendly because if you give them 2 of those, you can definitely get them to go. And, adults can have more, but we always recommend starting with 2 and working your way up because every body is different.
Yeah. You don't want an accident. You're like, whoa, took too many of those gummies.
I heard from one person who said, well, I learned not to have the cereal and then the gummies and a cup of coffee. And then too much.
Wow.
And, they learned the hard way. Yeah.
That's like literally open the floodgates open. Just like.
Yeah, towards the beginning of the pandemic, I was having stress gut and wasn't pooping very well. So I decided to take one extra laxative than I should have and pooped 4 times. And then the 5th time was in my pants.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Thank God I was quarantined at home so I could clean up that mess pretty easily.
I didn't have to deal with that. But that's really common, I find, with those over-the-counter laxatives. Like, they work differently. I take them from time to time, and yeah, sometimes nothing happens, and then other times it's like, don't leave the house.
It's like a complete emergency. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get downstairs, you're like, oh, I don't know if I can make it back upstairs. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I have to schedule stuff like that. Like when I take a Swiss Chris, I'm like, how much am I leaving the house tomorrow? Versus, oh yeah, I don't have to leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to plan ahead, people. You got to plan ahead.
That's awesome. And so the main place that you sell Poop Like a Champion is Amazon?
Well, we also actually sell on our website.
Oh, cool.
So we at pooplikeachampion.com. So, and we have a few bundles on there now too. So you can get, like there's volume discounts for getting 3 packs or 6 packs, or you can combine it with the gummies. And we actually do have a laxative tea as well.
Oh.
It's made with senna leaf. So it's a natural senna peppermint. So it's another one of those, like, you only want to, it's not a daily thing. That's like, okay, when things have gotten like, past the point of okay, and you need to bring out the big guns.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Then
the cereal is more of a daily thing.
The cereal's a daily thing. And I mean, I know some people that it will clear up the constipation. Maybe not. With some people, it's like the first try. Other people, it might take 2 or 3 days of regular.
Yeah.
And another thing, actually, what some people think is, oh, well, if half a cup has 79% of my fiber, then if I have a whole cup, I'm like, knocking it out of the park. that like the amount of water you have to drink to pair up with that for it to work, it can actually cause a bit of a backup.
Yeah.
Because you've got all this stuff it's absorbing like all the liquid out of your gut. So for some people, it takes them a few days just because they overdo it at first and they're not drinking enough. No, but then once things get going, then they're just like pretty happy. And it's like there's abundant poops.
It's like you got to find that balance of water. I feel like most people in general don't drink enough water. So if you're doing that on top of it, it's like you're in for a pretty bad scenario. But that's amazing.
For sure.
Yeah, fiber and water are big good friends with each other. Don't do one without the other.
100%.
Drink that water.
The stat that I've heard is you take your weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and that many ounces is what you need to drink. I've heard that. Right?
Yes. So. Yes.
And that can be hard. I mean, I sometimes have to set a reminder in my phone if I'm having a busy day.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And with the pandemic, like I used to always bring a water bottle with me around New York City, but then like I'm on the subway and I want to sip from my water bottle, but I don't want to take my mask off. Like, it's like, how do I do this? So I literally have to like get out of the subway, find a place on the sidewalk where nobody's at, and like take my mask down, chug my water. Like it's such an ordeal just to drink water these days.
Totally.
It's a process.
Totally.
Patsy, can we go into some of our other questions with you?
Yes, for sure.
What is your favorite brand of toilet paper, and do you put it on the roll over or under?
Definitely over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say I normally now, the brands where I live might be a little different. It's Cottonelle is probably my favorite. But,
softer.
I go with like, it's got to be premium, but I often go with the one that's on sale. Sometimes they'll have like 24 rolls for, $8. So, but it's got to be like the premium 3-ply. I don't like any of that linty 2-ply stuff. It's got to be, quilted and proper.
You like the soft stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
And do you sit or stand to wipe your butt?
I saw that question. That stuck me because I have never heard, or I never even thought about wiping your butt standing. Is that?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Very rare, but we always have to ask it because the few standing people we get, we're like, so tell us how and why do you do it this way?
Yeah, we had a guest talk about that, about a friend of his that stood and wiped, and we're kind of like, what? And then like it was like the floodgates opened up, because like I think the two people after that we've had on the show after that conversation were saying that they stand, or maybe or do some kind of combination of the two.
Yeah, I mean,
But
like
yeah.
That is
the hovering, if you're in public, a lot of people we know also lean to one side. We've noticed that a lot of men do the lean, but the lean also breaks the toilet seat. Like the little nubbins underneath it and stuff. So
yes.
yeah.
Gets a little road worn.
That might be why some public toilet seats are kind of like loose or wiggly.
Oh,
and
totally.
People have been leaning on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm learning new things today. I did not even.
It's like when you have like your pair of sneakers and you pronate one way to the other. It's like you pronate when you're on the one cheek.
Yeah, we do that to toilet seats.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's
And what's your
amazing.
first memory of poops and farts as a kid?
Well, my first memory of farts is definitely farting in the bathtub and then realizing that like farts are more than a noise, but they're like.
So you're like watching the bubbles rise.
Seeing the bubbles rise and then realizing that the smell transfers through the bubbles.
Oh yeah.
I remember being totally fascinated by that.
I still love farting in the bathtub, and I'm in my 40s.
Yeah.
I don't think I've taken a bath in like, I can't remember if I took an actual bath, let alone
Every
fart in the tub.
Oh, really?
When I fart, I giggle. So I'm just
It
like,
is free entertainment.
it
Yeah.
is. It never stops being funny. Never.
Totally.
What is your best cure for diarrhea and constipation? I'm assuming your best cure for constipation is your product. But what about diarrhea?
Yes. For diarrhea, that is for me, I usually, it's not something, to be honest, that I've experienced it rarely, but I'd say I probably take Pepto-Bismol. I would do that. Also Metamucil on its own, like anything that's binding.
Right.
And then I've heard that the brat diet is really good for, especially if it's like an ongoing diarrhea situation, which is banana, rice, apple juice, and toast.
Yes.
But I've always kind of skewed the opposite way, more towards constipation. So, one of the best cures for mild constipation that I've discovered during COVID is I bought a rebounder to stay fit because my gym closed, and jumping on a trampoline or a rebounder kickstarts things like,
Wow,
I'll
that's
have to take an intermission from my routine.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yes.
Wow.
So yeah,
I can see that working.
The rebounder?
it's they're like mini trampolines, like those, like the ones from the 80s. Like
Yeah,
the
those little
workout trampolines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have one.
A really great way to stay fit, and they've got them now with bungee cords because I live in a condo, so they don't squeak. It's like silent, and you can just jump. So, anyways, that's another really great one. And one that I actually discovered by accident is another product called Calm, which is a magnesium powder, and it actually helps with sleep.
It's also amazing. I love that stuff.
Totally overnight. So I'm one of those people, I think if this much works, more must be better. So I was like, I want to really knock myself out tonight with some Calm. And so, and then I found out the next day, like I totally had diarrhea the next day because that'll work. Yeah. And then any kind of that's why even walking is really good if people are constipated, because it's just that gravitational force.
Yeah, exercise really helps the bowels.
For sure.
Definitely.
I'll also add to the Calm though. It does work if you have muscle fatigue. I mean, I've gone on long runs, come in, and I've taken some of that stuff, and it just takes some of the lactic acid out of my legs. It's just it's great. But I mean, I love Calm. I love Calm across the board.
Yeah.
Great product.
Yeah, it's an excellent product. So, and then, but I was surprised that there isn't anything really stronger for that kind of, like constipation. I mean, otherwise you're getting up into some of those over the kind of unpredictable over the counter pills. But I remember one time, this is, before my Poop Like a Champion days, And I don't think I had pooped in 6 days. So I just went to the pharmacist and I was like, I haven't pooped in 6 days. Like I don't want any of this stuff on the shelf.
Yeah, what you get in the back?
And he was like, sorry, it's just like whatever's on the shelf. So, I always thought there'd be some kind of secret next level, behind the counter thing, but
he pulls out like a safe. He unlocks a safe with like, and like a glow highlight comes out. He's like, take one of these.
I mean, we have learned that magnesium citrate drink. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah. We had one guest that drank too much of that and was pooping through too many. To the point where they almost went to hospital. But a doctor friend of mine even told me about that a long time ago. He's like, this is what they do to prep for a colonoscopy. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I can't remember if it was an MRI. It was one of those tube things, but the open tube, not the closed tube. It was either an MRI or a CT scan of my colon. And it was around this time when I was really constipated. So they gave me, it was a prescription that the hospital gave me the day before, but that stuff was hardcore.
Yeah.
Like I was peeing out of my body.
Oh yeah. Was it? I've taken that. It's like Go Lightly. I think it's called, which is ironic. It's called Go Lightly because you do not go lightly. But that stuff is like, it's like butt pee.
Yeah. But I was like that. I mean, yeah. And they said like, stay home, like make no plans.
I had the same thing.
And then when you're done, come in here and we'll, scan things. Well, like there's nothing in you.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
I remember taking that stuff and thinking, I'm like, this is not going to be that crazy. And the doctor's like, just don't do anything, just don't go out, just make no plans. And I remember like, there was no accidents, but I definitely remember being in my apartment thinking like, this is bullshit. And then like maybe 30 minutes later, I was like, oh my God, it felt like there was like something trying to get out of me. And it was just like, I'm so happy I didn't go anywhere because it would have been a disaster. It just keeps coming out of you. You're just like,
no, I know. It's like this new force from within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, what is happening to me?
And it's also like, where's the simple in between? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, your cereal probably most definitely is that in between.
It's the daily diet, like, and just that, keeping that regular routine really does help.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Dave and I talk all the time because we're both in our 40s. Like in our 20s, we ate bullshit food and did whatever and drank. Yeah. And now it's like in our 40s, we're like, if we could just have a nice poop that day and a good night's sleep, like literally the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting old sucks.
What other products besides your cereal do you use to help you pooping? Like a bidet, wipes, room spray?
Yes, I have one of those Tushy bidets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And,
they're great.
I got converted my sister lives in the UAE, like in Abu Dhabi. And they're in Arabia, like there's a spray hose next to every toilet. And that's just, they have toilet paper too, but that's just how it's done. And, the first few days I was there, I was like, this is just weird. And I don't really it just seems like, cause there's no towel and like, how does this all work? But then, she said, well, the air is just so dry and warm, like it just kind of dries. So anyway, once you start with the hose, I mean, there's no going back because everything else feels like you're just kind of smearing your poop around until there's no visible trace left on the paper, right? I mean, it's better than nothing, but you can't beat a good bidet spray.
It's
right?
crazy. The second you start using those products are like any kind of like when you're using water. And then when you go to some place that doesn't have it, you're like, what the hell is going on here, people? Like it's like there's no it is. And there is no going back. You're kind of like it gets crazy that when I go to places that don't have a bidet or some kind of device.
Yeah, you don't get into the shower in the morning and just wipe yourself with a dry towel.
Exactly.
Oh, it's like, I think I'm clean.
Yeah. You gotta rub off that filth with some water.
Right? Yeah. Just keep smearing it around. And the other thing I use is the Squatty Potty.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, Squatty Potty's good.
I can't sometimes poop without a stool. Like I need to put my feet up. It really does work.
Yeah. And it's relaxing. But the thing that I have to stop doing is taking the TikTok in with me because, as you mentioned earlier, you're not supposed to sit there for too long.
No.
You're supposed to be like in and out, right?
Yep.
And anyway, TikTok. I think I have like a TikTok addiction issue with that. So yeah, that's staying out of the bathroom now.
Smart. It's probably good. It's probably for the best.
And then Patsy, our very favorite question. If you got to go Bristol 7, butt pee, coming out and there's no toilet in sight, do you go in your pants or somewhere on the floor, aka the ground?
Like where, like, I think it would depend where I was.
You get to pick the location.
Like if I was in a crowded mall, I would like totally do it in my pants.
Yeah.
Kind of like walk backwards out to the parking lot.
Yeah. You'd have to.
Yeah.
If you were like on a hike in the woods, you'd
Hike in the woods. Yeah. On the ground.
yeah.
It is very circumstantial, but you'd be surprised. Some people they're like, yeah, we've had guests who are like, I refuse to shit in my pants again, so they'll just go anywhere. They don't care. So,
amazing.
I think I'm with you. If it's a crowded situation kind of like that, I'm going to have to go in the pants, unfortunately.
Yeah. Take my chances.
Yeah.
But then the follow-up question is, has that ever happened to you? Have you pooped your pants or have you had to improvise?
Like not in my adult life. I'm thinking it had to have happened as a kid at some point. But I don't think I've ever had to do that. No.
Wow.
No.
Congratulations.
I've done all of the above. I've gone in my
Really?
pants. I've gone behind a tree in the woods. I have even recently gone in my kitchen garbage can because I had no other choice.
Oh my gosh, your kitchen garbage can.
Yeah, the bathroom.
Oh, what? The bathroom was occupied?
It was occupied.
Oh my gosh.
Occupado.
And
gosh.
it was a
Well-
choice of going in my pants or improvising. So I picked the garbage
You
can.
improvised. You
In your
MacGyvered it.
home, yeah, I think that's what I do too. And now that you mention it, I did go in the woods once
Mhm.
on a date because we were fishing. We were fishing on the riverside. And I had started the Wild Rose Cleanse. And this is one of those things where it's like nothing was happening. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just like immune to all these products. And then there we were like fishing and I remember I dropped the rod and like went into the woods. And yeah.
Wait, what's the Wild Rose Cleanse?
The Wild Rose Cleanse, well, it's something I've always bought at Whole Foods. And it's a kit. It's like a 14-day colon cleanse.
Oh.
So, and I think there's 3 different products. So and the one that people said like ease into it slowly is one of the products is called Herbalax. And it's, a herbal
I've heard of this.
laxative.
Okay.
There's 2 other pills. I think one kind of cleanses your liver. So it's a really great, like January, New Year, people like to detox after all that rich food and alcohol and that's where I was. So.
Well, you picked Flora then.
Floor, yes.
Well, she's not going to sit in her pants on a date. That'd be horrible. You're like,
Well, there's no, like you can't come back from that. I don't think.
yeah. You're
Right?
like, date's
and there's
over.
no pretending it didn't happen. Like you got to get it back in the car. And, it's a mess.
Did you guys hear about that football player? My boyfriend could tell me who it was, but he literally in the middle of the game, like it wasn't during a
I've seen
timeout,
that.
he ran to the bathroom and he was like, I wasn't going to shit my pants. And they could have lost the game. He came out from the bathroom, finished up, won the game.
Wow.
But they have video of him running to the bathroom, and he was like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't going to go."
Wait, did you send me that? You sent me that link
Well,
or that little video? I
I
think.
I tried to. I can't find the one link that I found is like on Instagram in a private account.
Okay, I think I saw it. I think I saw that there was something like this is not I have to. I forgot some kind of meme that says like this is not a cramped leg run or something like that. This is I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Bubby, what's that guy's name? Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
He's the quarterback of what team? Of the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh.
I think I've seen that one.
He was down a few points. There was
Just
only
2 minutes left
on the clock. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's actually kind of admirable that he did that and it still came back.
And then after he did the big poo-poo.
Yeah, that I would say that's salary. He's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
but he was
that's
like,
some championship.
Yeah, that is
right
championship.
there.
That's like a poop like a champion.
Yeah, right. Made possible because he, did his big poop, and then he was in tip top shape again.
Yeah.
Really, and he would not have been able to win that game if he pooped.
Oh no.
If he was clenching that whole time, no.
He's like, game over.
No, but even if it like seeped out and like
it would have been.
Pants.
And those pants are like white. It would have been like just a disaster.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, and he would have been a laughing stock forever.
Oh yeah, that's exactly why he ran. He's like, I'm not going to be someone's meme.
Yeah.
Talked about in some Sports Center thing.
Yeah, and he redeemed himself.
They did.
I mean, there's no better feeling in the world than an empty colon.
Yeah,
like,
you can take it. You can literally do anything, and that guy won a game.
Amazing.
Oh. Wow, that's amazing. That's a nice little pre-news news.
Oh, but do you have anything else, Patsy, to share with us?
Well, I just say that after Christmas in January is a really good time to think about doing a colon cleanse. But like, even if all that is just really upping your fiber and your water, and just start clearing out some of that old holiday stuff. And again, just with keeping your immune system is so important to keep that healthy these days with a balanced gut. So even working in a probiotic in there too would be amazing.
Great advice.
Yes.
Amazing.
Should everybody floss your teeth and eat your fiber?
Mm-hmm.
Eat that fiber. Okay, well, we're going to get into a little bit of news, which kind of has to do with what we're talking about today. So I'm going to play our little intro, and then we'll start talking about this interesting news item that Ellen gave me. Here we go. I just realized I played the wrong one.
I think that was the old one.
It was the old one, but it was a nice surprise. I just like looked over and I just hit I'm like, let it go.
Hey, switch it up.
Exactly. Variety is the spice of life. So this came to us from Atlas Obscura, written by Luke Fader. I almost want to say Fatter, but it's Fader. And like I said, Ellen sent this to me, I think, a couple days ago, actually. And it's basically, the whole article talks about what ancient toilets reveal about the history of the human gut.
Oh, no, Lauren sent this to us.
Oh, I thought you said.
And then I just forwarded it.
Oh, okay. Then Lauren, thank you so much for sending this to us. And then sending it to Ellen, who sent it to me, you get it.
Lauren's one of our few super fans who will never be on this show.
Yeah, but she sends us lots of cool stuff. So, so according to this guy, Piers Mitchell, he is a paleopathologist at the University of Cambridge. He's been extracting data from ancient poop for like forever. So what he's found is like our microbiome is a complex collection of microbes living in pretty much everybody's gut, animals, whatever. And that he's found through this paper that he published that him and his team had been studying samples from the 15th century latrine, the Christian quarter of the Old City in Jerusalem. And he's been also studying old poop, from a latrine in Riga, Latvia.
Whoa.
And they've actually successfully separated the fecal material from all the environmental contaminants in the soil. And they've sort of discovered that they've been able to like sort of study whole populations as opposed to actual individuals. Excuse me. And through this, they've sort of figured that, I mean, this thing's got so many puns in it. It says, Mitchell knows his shit. It's just so funny to put this in there. He's basically saying that like our intestinal microbiomes aren't keeping up with this sort of like rapid pace of globalization. So because the way things are moving and the way like technology and like just like food, basically, our genetics are sort of like still in a pre-industrial stage. Like it hasn't caught up with like actually how many like products that are coming out right now. And like, so a lot of people have all these issues with like inflammation. I mean, he's actually saying like a lot of the modern problems of obesity, allergies, irritable bowel syndromes, is a sort of like weird like disconnect with modern substances from that affect the gut. And technically our guts are still like they haven't like fully, I guess, caught up. We haven't evolved our guts yet to keep up with the progress with modern food, which is fascinating to me because that does probably explain a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, most people like, and a lot of it has to do with like fast food and the fact that people don't really like, they're not eating like healthy food that we did once when we were like hunters and gatherers.
So preservatives.
A lot of preservatives, like all kinds of stuff like that.
Sugar. And even I think the local diet, like we, like I'm here in Vancouver, Canada, and we can eat strawberries in December.
Exactly.
And that's not normal.
No, exactly.
Yeah, so we're eating foods from other locations. And I think in the ancient times, like every culture kind of had their own kind of microbiomes based on
completely
what they were eating.
And
air
it was like,
quality, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was like a range of like distance as far as like, if you're hunting things, if you're gathering things, whatever was available to you. And obviously it's seasonal. So it's like, if you're getting more root vegetables during that season, that's what you're eating. You're not going to order like blueberries from like, South America or something.
Yeah.
So
how old was this poop?
One poop was from the 15th century. One was from the 14th century.
I can't believe it didn't decompose. Like, that's amazing.
Well, basically,
it turned into earth.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's just they're just like preserved turds, really.
Wow.
They're like fossilized. They are called acropolite, which we've talked about before. Acropolite, so which is like a preserved human turd, really, or animal.
I'm still so impressed.
It's just crazy. Like, I mean, that's a cool thing about technology. The fact they can actually go in there and sort of like dissect all those things and like sort of like break it down to like, all those scientific data points. But yeah, it's a very interesting field he's in because basically any kind of archaeological find that happens, this guy sends an email out to people because if especially if they find a latrine or some kind of like doo-doo, if you will, like this guy's like he's like instantly like on the case. And like he's studied, apparently according to his article, he is a director of the Cambridge Ancient Parasites Laboratory. He studied stools across Europe, Asia, Africa, some more than 9,000 years old. Wow. So yeah, he's an expert. It's super amazing.
And
also,
dedication to the cause.
We should get him as a guest.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'd be fascinating. I mean, the goal here is that Piers Mitchell hopes is that we can develop, I guess, new treatments for our guts. So to get them back in more of our pre-industrial stage, quote, we're not trying to give everyone cholera or typhoid again. We're just trying to figure out the healthy bits and put back while leaving out the nasty, like sort of diseases. So that's what he's trying to reintroduce some of these microbiomes to our guts that were necessarily, either extinct or like completely gone, but in a pill form, maybe perhaps. So it's like, again, sort of like that personal like health system where you can, I guess, fine tune your own diet and like, medication. But this is fascinating to me. I mean, that someone's actually doing this kind of work. He's a poop archaeologist.
That is so cool.
Pretty much. Yeah. So check it out. If you've seen it online, it's a fascinating read. And again, thanks for Lauren for that lead.
Yeah. Thanks, Lauren.
Cool. Oh, well, with that, Patsy, I want to thank you so much for being on our show. Thank you so much for being part of this team that put out Poop Like a Champion. I'm glad that you're helping so many people and you're having a great time with it. It's really fun and amazing. Thank you.
Tell us where we can buy Poop Like a Champion.
Oh, right. So you can buy it on pooplikeachampion.com.
Nice.
And do you guys have social media?
We do. We have an Instagram and a Facebook, but I mean, we're a lean team and we've been really focused on getting new product out. So, I mean, you can follow us and hopefully upping our game in January.
Excellent.
With that, definitely. And one thing I'm working on for the website is more of like a Poop 101 learning center.
Oh,
so
nice.
Hopefully launching that sometime in 2021.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Well, go out and check it out. Buy some cereal, and it'll make your guts a lot happier.
Yeah.
And better poops.
And if you have anybody else out there has any more questions for Patsy, we can do a follow-up. You can call us at 203-998-5579 or email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com.
Either one of those, we'll get back to you on it. So
thank you so much, Patsy.
Yeah, thanks again, Patsy.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Great.
And happy pooping, everybody, and enjoy your butthole.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment, produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather, edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at heypoopypodcast and Twitter at heypoopy. Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey Poopy.